Welcome everyone to episode 23 of Raw Sport. My name is Ahmed El Houli, and as he does every single week, Mr. Tony Sheehan joins me on the show. Tony, how you going, buddy? How's things?
Morning, Ahmed, and as I do join you every week, I can't wait. We got another special guest and can't wait to get stuck into it.
Very special guest today, Australian boxing legend, international boxing legend, Jeff Fenech joins us on the show. Jeff, how are you, buddy? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, well, good. Excited to be talking to you guys. My good mate Tony there with you. We've travelled the world together, so yeah, we know each other quite well. So I'm looking forward to this.
Well, it has been quite a while since we got on a plane together.
Thank God for that.
Well, Mexico, America.
I'm the only one thanking COVID, so I get rid of you for a couple of months.
That's not bad for you. You've still got your humour.
Yeah.
Now, Jeffrey, obviously we're going to go through your history of boxing, but before we do that, just want to take us through and deliver the right message to the audience about what happened on the Gold Coast last week when you were coaching Hass Hamden on the Gold Coast for the undercard of the Tim Tszyu fight.
I don't even know what happened. Just that me and this other trainer have had a bit of a feud for a while, and straight after the fight, I'm not sure what happened, but I heard Hass say something, and I heard him, yelling out stuff. So I just wanted to walk over and say, listen, you just put your boy in a fight that he got nearly killed in, so you know nothing about the sport. So it was pretty much it. And then, he just got a bit loud and said some false things, and apparently I said a couple of things which I obviously didn't say. But look, that's boxing and that's life. I mean, when your life's an open book, and if you say something, people want to know about it. People make up crap, and this guy's been talking crap for a couple of years, and I love it every time we meet. He's on the loser's side, so it just says everything. How stupid he is. I mean, he's now making excuses that his fighter only had 3 weeks preparation and so on, but they were calling us out and saying that they thought we weren't going to turn up. So it's just crazy. But look, that's boxing, and that's what happens with social media today. I'm not a part of that stuff. I don't even, how long it took me to get onto the phone with you guys. I know nothing about social media, and I'm not into that crap. Listen, I let my fist do the talking. So one day he's going to say something wrong, and I might just cloud him in the head, and then he'll know what it's all about.
So there's obviously built up animosity between you and Ben Saber.
Well, there's nothing with me. To be honest, Tony, I admire the guys in the sport. That's really, really hard. He tries really hard to help kids, and that's really, really great as well. But sometimes he talks stuff that, is total crap. So it's crazy.
Wow. Jeff, the Australian boxing landscape has come to life over the last few years. Before that, we had a bit of a dull period. After, as Mundine went into his latter years, we had a bit of a dull, and then Tim Tszyu came up and sort of reinvigorated the landscape. Now, you've been watching over this space for many, many years. At one stage, it was you were at the top of the game as a fighter. Of course, you're still top as a coach, but you were the one leading the way. Do you believe now that we are in the pinnacle of the sport? Do you believe this is one of the greatest eras of Australian boxing?
Oh, without doubt. I mean, when I look at the boys that are out there today, the Liam Wilsons, the Maloney brothers, Brock Jarvis prior to his defeat, and the Tszyu brothers, the list goes on and on. There's so many more that I just can't pick off my brain at the moment. But yeah, boxing is mostly at its peak.
Absolutely. And what do you think? Because
excuse me. Jai Opataya, who's most probably one of the best fighters in the world. Ebony Bridges, who's a lady world champion from Australia. We got so much skill and ability. It's crazy what we've got at the moment.
What about Cambosis?
Well, there you go. What George done. George, 12, 18 months ago to be unified champion. Boxing has never been better.
Do you give credit to our amateur system that has produced this talent, or what would you give real credit to?
I give no credit at all to our amateur system. It's the worst system. I'm just being honest. It's the worst system in the world. It's always been the worst. We've never had results. We've had a beautiful result from young Harry Garside, who obviously is a very, very talented young boy who works really hard. But apart from Harry, amateur boxing's been nothing it'll always be nothing because the people who run our amateur sport are, run it for themselves. They don't care about the boys. They don't care about getting the boys to a better position. It's just a boys' club where they get trips overseas. They wear a suit and a uniform. They think they've got some power with them, and they never pick the best fighters in the country. They pick whoever they want to pick. So the amateur boxing in Australia is, excuse me, I don't know, is shit, and it's always been shit, and it's always going to be shit. And I don't want to use that word, but it's the truth.
That's all right. Jeff, why do governments not inject money into our grassroots?
Yeah, who knows why? But like I said, with the way the sport is at the moment, I mean, we need a boxing show, and not just a showcase. And we need stories in the paper again about our amateurs. Build them up if there's anybody that's any good. Give them the confidence. Give them something to strive for. Like nobody knows any of them. I mean, and like I said, Harry Garthwaite's the only guy we know because he won a medal. Had he not won a medal, who do we talk about? Like I said, he's Jaya Patea. All of us are talking about Tim Tszyu, and Tim Tszyu deserves everything we talk about. But Jaya Patea is most probably one of the best fighters in the world, most probably the top 3 or 4 fighters in the world, pound for pound, not just in his division, in the whole world. I mean, he gets no credit for it.
So do you think this is intentionally done by the Australian media outlets? Do you think it's intentionally not pushing Australian fighters? Obviously, Tszyu's father was a legend, so on and so on. But Apataya his dad wasn't a legend. His dad wasn't a star. Why isn't he being pushed?
Well, who knows? And that's the thing. We have these little these so-and-so groups of this team and that team. We're Australia. We used to be one team. Let's all help each other. Let's make the sport the greatest it's ever been. Because at this stage, we've got more great fighters that are in the world ratings in the female divisions, and Taylor Robinson, and in the male divisions, Jaya Patea, as you said, Cam Bostis, all these guys. I mean, man, if we were all together and we helped each other, wow, Australian boxing would be something that the international scene spoke about. Like I said, we spoke about Tim in the last 6 or 8 months. Canelo didn't even know who he was. Don't worry, they know who he is. They just don't want to know who he is. But I'm just saying, here are these guys saying, who's Tim Tszyu? Don't worry, what Tim's done has been unbelievable, and it was just like timing. Tim was very, very blessed when Charlo never took the fight against Tim. Tim took those last 3 fights, and those last 3 fights that solidified him and made him a great, great champion, made him a global name at the moment. And anybody's going to say Tim Tszyu's nothing, they're going to get a huge shock.
Just to digress for a moment, Jeff, who can we hold accountable for amateur boxing situation?
I'm not going to put my finger on anybody or name anybody, but listen, I remember when I was an amateur boxer, I was blessed to have been chosen to go to the Olympics. I made a bit of a noise in the World Cup. I came third in the world. I won a bronze medal, not the Commonwealth Games, but the Commonwealth titles. And then I beat the guy from Australia who won the Commonwealth bronze medal. So I was just blessed that I got chosen. I was most probably in the right place at the right time because, some of the best fighters never went to the Olympics. A boxer by the name of Wilfred Jensen, who was an amazing amateur at the time. He wasn't chosen. He was a much better credential amateur than Jeff Fenech was, although he didn't go on to do the things that I'd done. But at that time, like I said, he was a much better credential fighter. The Waters boys, they never went to the Olympics. I mean, we had some great kids. It's whoever's played the cards right at that time in the amateur game is what happens. And whoever's running it at the time, and whoever he's friends with, and whoever are the closest associates, they go to the game. Not the best fighters in Australia go to the games. We're not like these other countries. It's if you're in the right team, you're a great chance to go into the games. If you're not, you're no chance.
Jeff, there's been talks about a certain monopoly that's being. We're not going to mention names. We're just talking in general terms here. I've been hearing talks about a certain group becoming a monopoly in the sport, to the extent of where you can't even have articles published in some of the mainstream papers if you're not part of that group.
Well, name them then.
I'm not going to name them.
Are their initials NL?
Don't know. But anyway, Jeff, I know there's a certain group out there who's done amazing things for the sport. Are we heading towards our own destruction by doing these little things, by kicking other people out? And have you heard of such things?
Oh, definitely so. Everybody's talking about certain things in the sport of boxing. But let me just say one thing. Like I said, we have fighters that are on the cusp of being great that we haven't even watched. We have not even watched on TV. We have not even watched on TV. You know, which is terrible. We've got fighters who I believe are going to be world champions who we won't even see in Australia before they become world champions, which is outrageous. It's stupid. I mean, I can't believe it. I mean, look, and I know who we're talking about at the moment. Listen, for me, we just all need to work together and help each other. And like I said, and whoever's the next in the line, if somebody's in the firing line or has an opportunity to be promoted, we need to promote them. And whether I'm the promoter or you're the promoter, we need to get together and work together to make this better. Look, there's promoters out there, like I'll mention one by the name of Angelo DiCarlo, who's spent more money on the sport of boxing out of his own pocket than anybody in the history in Australia. Yeah, we don't even get to see his fighters. He's got some great fighters. He puts on amazing shows.
So why don't we get to see them?
What's that?
Why don't we get to see his fighters?
Well, because they're in the wrong platform. They're on the wrong platform, Tony. You know, which is sad because I think Australian boxing, we should all be on the same platform. If there's an opportunity, we should all get the same opportunity that anybody else gets. If you've got the ability, if you've got the fighter, if you've got the personality, if you've got the charisma, you've got a fighter that is going to make it, they need to be put on the platform so everybody can see them.
So are we talking about Stan or Fox Sports or Main Event or a whole host of them?
No, well, I'm talking about everybody that's involved in the sport. What I'm saying is, well, Fox Sports is the boxing. They're the kings in Main Event. So I mean, and I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they'll give everybody a chance if they deserve it. But it's if you're not with the right team, or if you're not signed with a certain company, it's very hard to get a run, which is not just bad luck, which is very, very sad for our sport and sad for that poor person who can fight and who has got the ability to become world champion.
Do you believe that's why the UFC has been able to overtake boxing in Australia, in the US? Because what they've done really well is they've brought the best fighters on one platform. They've matched up the best fighters, and they have this amazing machine that can pick up a kid from the western suburbs of Sydney and turn him into a global phenomenon. And they pretty much control everything, and the fans love it. Where on the other side, we're seeing so much segmentation and fragmentation, and this guy's got politics with this, and that guy's politics with that, and the sport isn't really that big anymore. In fact, unity is needed, like with the highest of urgencies.
Let me say, the sport is, look, for me, the sport's big, but I believe it could be better if we're all together and we're giving everybody an opportunity, because I can feel by sitting here talking to you guys that you try to allude to something that a lot of people are talking about. But with me, and I'll be straight out there, I've worked with the Rose brothers for years and years. They're beautiful people. They've got this great opportunity, and they're making the most of it. The same as you and I would do, the same as anybody else would do. Do I believe that they deserve the right to have every show? No, I don't. I believe that it's such a great sport. It should be shared. And I know that they've spoken to other promoters to try to help them. So I'm not blaming the Rose brothers, or I'm not blaming Fox. But Fox have given one organisation a chance, and they're banking on it. And so far, look, all I can say, apart from what I'm saying, that a lot of people aren't getting chances. Wow, the Rose brothers and No Limits have done a great job. When you go to a boxing event and it's promoted by those guys, it's crazy. I was just on the Gold Coast, sitting there listening to the atmosphere, listening to everything that happened was amazing. The makeup of the event. It's not just a boxing show. They put on an event which is music. It's got everything in it. So I mean, I can't say nothing to the Roses. The Roses got sorry guys. The Roses got given an opportunity, and they're taking it with both arms. And I mean, and like I said, I do know for a fact that they've spoken to a lot of different people and trying to work with them. And sometimes it's up to the other people to try to to work with them as well. But like I said, had I been given the opportunity that they were given, or had to DiCarlo's or somebody else, what happens then? But like I said, I'd like to think that, and I know that these guys are exploring different avenues. They're trying to help everybody. So let's just hope it happens sooner than later. Because like I said, I do know for a fact that the Rose boys have spoke to multiple different promoters and trying to help everybody, and that's all they can do. But like I said, could boxing be better? Of course it could be. Would I change things? Of course I would change things. But guess what? At the moment, there are things that can't be changed, and we can talk about it. But like I said, yeah, you talk about things, then you cut your own legs off, But like I said, I'm the most honest guy out there. I do commentary the way I see it. I say it the way I see it. I can, like I said, I'll say it again. The Rose brothers have been given the opportunity. They've done an amazing job with it. So what can you say? Every fight it's sold out. The venues are great. The entertainment's great. Yeah, the fights are great. But there are still a lot of other great fighters that deserve that chance as well. And hopefully the Rose boys will give them that as well. But like I said, I know again factually they have spoken to certain people, and I can't say what happened in those talks, but I know promoters have spoken to them and trying to work with them, and hopefully they'll all work together to make Australian boxing better. Because if we don't work together and we do pull apart, and we are somebody saying A and somebody B, and somebody pulling against A and pulling against B, the sport will never grow the way the UFC's grown. The UFC, yeah, it's crazy how the UFC's grown in the last 4 or 5 years. God, they've got a couple of Australians who are amazing fighters, like Volkanovski, who's going to fight very, very soon. I mean, those guys deserve all the credit they get here. Alex will fight on 12 days' notice against the most feared fighter in the world. Boxers don't do that. Boxers aren't ready. These guys need 6 or 8 or 10 or 12 weeks to get down the weight. Alex Volkanovski dropped straight into it. Take my hat off to you, Alex.
Hey, the other thing is, sorry, Ahmed, just to interject, Jeff, the other thing is you made a really good point about the comparisons with UFC and boxing. And the other day I noticed in the Daily Telegraph in Sydney's News Corp publications, Volkanovski's got a full-page story on him with a photo. I mean, you can't buy that sort of advertising.
Yeah, definitely so. I remember when I fought, and before each fight, I was full back page or front page if something crazy happened, if we done something special. But like I said, we don't have a boxing report. We have people who write stories, but we need somebody who's going to write a story every week on somebody different, so we know what's out there and we're promoting them properly. And like I said, I remember when I did the boxing show with Matty Brooks called Sky KO. Every pub and club watched every day. We had so many viewers, and we were selling what was happening in the sport of boxing, not just globally but worldwide. So I think we need to do that, and hopefully, people will see that boxing needs that.
Have you spoken with? I know you're very good friends with Nine board director David Gingell. Have you spoken with either him and or other people from Fox?
No, to be honest, like I said, I've tried very hard just to sit back and. Tony, I'm a pretty outspoken guy when I have to speak. But like I said, I think what's happening at the moment is great. But we just need to get together, and like I said, we need to share the wealth and the love and the fights. We just need to do some other things, and like I said, that will stop what's happening today, where people are bickering behind people's back. Like I said, I'm not here to bicker. Like I said, I've been very, very blessed having my name. Like my boys are very, very well looked after. But like I said, there are a lot of people out there that aren't looked after, that deserve to be looked after, that deserve the chance everybody else gets.
Okay, sorry, is No Limit, the boys from No Limit, you spoke of the Rose brothers, are they the biggest promoters in the country right now?
Oh, without doubt. Well, I mean, they have every TV show on Fox. They have every main event, so of course they're the biggest. And like again, you can't say a bad word about them. Every show they've done has been amazing. They're obviously doing what they're supposed to do. They're full house, amazing show. They're giving certain fighters a chance. But like I said, I'd like to think that there are other fighters out there that deserve some chances as well. That aren't obviously associated with the Rose Boys or with No Limits, but I think that they all deserve the chance. But like I said, again, that's about us being able to unite and having another trainer or promoter or manager who can go and speak sense instead of being idiots and talking crap to each other and trying to argue. They need to go and sit down and be sensible and have a good conversation and help everybody.
Jeff, here's one for you. This is a prediction. The day Tim Tszyu retires, does this momentum continue?
I honestly believe it does. I think we've got. Yeah, well, it's a great. But listen, if you watch the fights on the weekend, Nathaniel May, Jackson England, the girls who fought, that's some of the best fights I've seen. I mean, And Liam Wilson sitting out there, who would have and should have been world champion and should have been one of the best world champions out there in Navarrete in his last fight. A long cow, they robbed our Aussie boxer. I mean, we've got so much. The Maloney brothers, we've got so much skill out there. We've got, like I said, Jaya Patea. We've got, boxing. Boxing's going to get stronger and stronger. And let me tell you something else. Tim Zoo's not going anywhere for a number of years yet. Tim's just getting better, and he's going to be over in America, and he's finally going to do what I done late in my career, but he's going to do it much earlier than me. He's going to make those Americans think, wow, these Australians can fight. They can really fight. That's Tim Zoo. And then we've got Nikita coming through, and he's got a hard fight coming up. So we've got a lot of potential, a lot of promise, and I think we've got a lot of years left in boxing at the moment.
Is Tim Zoo in the class of Canelo?
Oh, without doubt. I mean, listen, think of this, wait, without doubt he's in the class. I mean, remember, he's in 3 weight divisions lighter than him. So think of that. Listen, everybody was talking about Charlo. Tim knocks out the guy Charlo that beat Charlo. Tim beats the crap out of the next guy. I mean, Tim's learning. Don't worry about that. Tim's going to get better. Like I said, you ask me any day of the week, and I'll say that Tim's right up there with Canelo and everybody else. And I'll say that not being biased for one little bit, not worried about a job, not worried about Tim Zoo is the real deal.
I'm going to challenge you on this one a bit, Jeff.
Yeah.
How do you classify him in the same way, same position or same class as somebody who's a 4-time world champion, fought the greatest, at the top of the sport? The only person the 2 people he's lost to is Floyd. He was young, and Bivol beat him, obviously. But other than that, he's steamrolled everyone.
So I rate him quite easily. Listen, we're at a stage of his career. Tim's at a stage when Canelo lost against Floyd Mayweather with this many fights. Tim hasn't lost, and like I said, so all I'm rating Tim.
We lost you there, Jeff.
Is it Jeff's audio?
Yeah, it's Jeff's audio.
I don't think you can hear us either.
Jeff.
It's been a kid who's worked his backside off on his own, and he's beaten everybody.
Yeah. Sorry, Jeff. We lost you there for about 10 seconds. That's all right. I mean, yeah, fair enough.
Do you want to go over his answer?
Wait, you're talking to me about a Tim Zoo and a Canelo. Take 20 fights back and put Canelo where Tim was. Tim's better than Canelo at this stage of his career.
Different paths.
Well, there you go. So how do you compare them? There's different paths. Yeah, one's over in America or Mexico, in the Mecca. Yeah, Tim's here, and we're bringing fighters out here. But everybody they've brought out here that can fight, like I said, that had beat Charlo, that had beat world champ, he's wiped the floor with them. He's beaten them more easy than any other champion's beaten them. Nobody's beaten the opponents that Tim has fought like Tim Zoo's beaten them.
So when you compare it in that sense, yes, you have a point. We're talking about where Canelo is now and Tim. So if you look at
Tim's got another 6 or 7 years to get there.
That's what I'm referring to. I'm saying in terms of that age bracket. If you say yes, he will one day surpass Canelo. He's got the ability to at his age. Yes, I'm with you all the way there.
Hey, I don't want to steer off this topic just yet, but one more to Jeff, if you can allow me.
Yeah,
Jeff, is Tim better than his father Kostya?
They're both different, and you can't see different eras. The guys Kostya fought amazing. Look at Tim. Like I said, look, I know one thing that people in Australia say Jeff Fenech, Kostya Zoo. This kid, what he's done so far, he might be able to go on and surpass both of us. And again, it's different eras. We fought different fighters, but who knows what this kid might conquer? And like I said, the way he's beating these guys at the moment, don't be surprised where he goes and what he does. And if he does the same in America over the next 2 years, he's going to be a huge name. Well, he's already big in his name. But when he does this, when he does what he's doing in Australia to the Americans that he's doing it here, then you'll see what they say about him.
Is Charlo ducking him?
Well, listen, he's not ducking him. He's not me. Of course, if somebody offers you 25 million or 2 million, I'm not what you're going to take. Even if you think you're going to get beaten, that's But like I said, no, Charlo's not ducking him, but Charlo's just playing games. And when the time comes and Charlo's got to fight him, then it's up to Tim to prove what he's been saying for the last year and a half, that Charlo is ducking him, he's running away and hiding. But like I said, Charlo is making as much money as he can. You can't blame him for that. But I honestly believe that Tim Zoo will beat Charlo.
Yeah, I mean, I actually agree with you. And the reason why I asked that question is because a lot of people are saying he's ducking him. But the context of things is you have a huge fight where you're going to make $20 million, $25 million. If they threw that at him and gave him Zoo, he'll definitely fight him. It's all about timing, as they say anyway. Tim's got an interesting path forward. We wish him all the best. I want to move to, your path. I mean, as a fighter, you were at the pinnacle of the sport. As a coach, you also reached the pinnacle. You coached people like Mike Tyson, and many, many others. What do you believe it takes for a fighter to become a world champion? Can you give me 3 things that you see in someone? As soon as you see them in someone, you say, this kid's got it.
Yeah, I'll tell you they are. Preparation, and preparation.
Wow.
Preparation's everything. I mean, I don't care. You can have if you don't prepare for something, how do you believe you can beat it? So preparation gives you the confidence. Preparation gives you all those other ingredients that you need to be successful. If you prepare properly, then you've got everything else. So if I'm out every morning running, doing this, and I've got all this, that means I'm preparing properly. So I just put all down to preparation. So I don't have to use any other word. If I'm ready, if I've done my road work, that means I've prepared properly. If I've boxed properly, I've prepared properly. So, like I said, everything to me is about preparation. And if a boy's prepared to give you what it takes for that preparation, then you've got a good boy. And like I said, it's a crazy thing. We were only talking to some people yesterday, and there are some guys that you can scream at between rounds. There are some guys you need to talk to, and just and it's my job to be able to differentiate what kind of person I've got in the ring at that time. Does this kid need, like Johnny Lewis, used to swear at us and call us names and say things about our mums and stuff like that? And today, if they heard him say that, he'd be in jail. But
what was the best line Johnny Lewis gave you in one of your fights?
Oh no, they were all good lines. But like I said, everything's changed today. So it's my job as I'm not a trainer. I'm a teacher. It's my job as this person to know that I've got a student that wants to learn, that's going to listen. I tell all my boxers one story about me and Johnny Lewis. Johnny Lewis never asked me once, did I run in the morning? Did I do my stomach? Did I do this? Did I go to bed at 8:30? Because he knew I'd done it. And how did he know I'd done it? Because when I went to train, I beat the shit out of everybody I sparred. My preparation was great. I did what I had to do. So he never questioned me. He never said, Jeff, did you do this today? Did you? No, never once. We just had this amazing click that my outlook to being successful is, if Johnny was happy, then I'm happy. If he's happy, that means I'm doing everything right. And I always made him happy. So it was very, very easy for Johnny and I.
Wow. What's your outlook on the future of the sport in Australia? And actually, I would like to hear your outlook on the global level too.
I'm a little sad that everybody has to slag and bag and try to sell their fights by mouth instead of by fists. I mean, I had 15,000 people at all my fights. I had media full pages every time I fought, and I never swore, shitbagged any of my opponents. I just let my fist do the talking. And then, if you watch the Fenech lost tapes, thanks to Fox, God love you guys for putting my fights on. Just watch my fights and see the difference. I mean, like I said, I go back and I make an example out of one fight where two of the greatest in history fought, Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. Between the two of them, over 12 rounds, I think they threw around 400 or 500 punches between them. I do that on my own in 2 rounds or 3 rounds. So in my fight against Marcus and Villasana, we done that between us in 2 rounds. So, I mean, the game changed. We can't talk about the game changing. All we can say is what's happening in the present. And obviously, the present is all we can talk about. We can't talk about the past. We can't talk about could he have beaten him. we're not fighting each other, so we're never going to know. I can think what I want to think, and he can think what he wants to think, and you can think what you want to think, but it's never going to happen. So all we can do is just keep supporting these guys and trying to make them do the things the best way they can. Like me, I don't like my boys talking crap on social media. I don't like it. I never done. I just don't like it. I don't think it's needed. I think you let your fist do the talking. I think if you've seen what has Hampton done on the weekend, apart from talking, if he didn't talk, I think people would be even talking more about it, because what he done with his fist in the last fight was totally amazing. And he's getting better and better. His boxing is getting better because he's listening. I'd rather him do less talking and less having your head ruined by worrying what people are saying to you, and just get out there and do your job as a boxer.
In terms of, sorry, go. No, you go.
Jeff, do you believe these YouTube boxers are helping the sport, or quite the opposite?
These big the
YouTube boxers.
Oh, well, obviously they're getting eyes on the sport. But like I said, you've got a job there. You're making your money of doing what you're good at. They're making their money. I can't begrudge them. I don't say I love it. But if there was an opportunity for me or my friend Tony there to go and make $10 million, and it was the easiest way he could, I would pat him on the back and say, go and do it. And I'd support him all the way to the bank and take the money when he got to the bank. But what can you say? I just wish him luck.
Let's put the money aside. For the sport, for the development of the sport, do you believe it's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a terrible thing. I think letting two people that really know nothing about the sport showcase the sport, I don't think it's great at all. But like I said, if they've found a way to make money and that's going to help their living and help their family, help them, I take my hat off to them for being so smart.
I think, Jeffrey, which is a really good statement, I'm going to also make a statement. I think a lot of people, be it theatre goers and or boxing fans, have lost respect for the sport because of some of the umpires' decisions or referees.
Well, that's the first thing. I wish you would have asked me that question, because the worst thing that we've got in the sport of boxing, especially in Australia, is referees and judges who have no idea who wins the fight, how to judge a fight. And listen, and they can hate me, they can do whatever they want to. I'm honest. I'm at fights in the last few weeks. I see a judge give it to a person that didn't win a round. I see a split decision against a fighter who never won a round. And then listen, nothing. If you can't do your job, champ, those earphones you got are off next week. The people who pay your wages, they're off. These guys who can't even flute the truth and do a job, they work every week. They don't get reprimanded. They don't say, listen, let's sit down with somebody who knows about it. Well, let's watch his fight and tell me how that guy won the fight. That never happens to him.
Jeff, why are they being called out? Sorry, why aren't they being called out, Jeff?
Well, I'm just saying that. I mean, the sport it's so controversial at the moment because you don't know who wins the fight. Listen, at the end of the fight, listen, if I have a fight and somebody beats my head in, there's not a chance in the world I'm walking around the ring like that hoping I get a decision. I'm not good enough. These guys, after each fight, they both put their hands up, walk around and said they both won. You know when you've got your head beat in. You know when you lose a fight. You don't need to get, if you haven't won the fight first, you don't want to win the fight because you're not getting better. You're not getting better from getting the decision that wasn't yours.
Jeff, is that, reckon it comes down to these dinners that happen?
Of course it is. Wine and dine somebody there. You're my man. Listen, of course, it's a close fight. You're going to get a decision. I'd pay you to go overseas. I'd pay you to do. I send somebody to your room at 11 o'clock when you go to bed because you're at home. Your missus is not the person that you sleep. Listen, mate, that's boxing. That's life, and that's what happens with these guys. It's sometimes they tell me these guys cheat. I say, no, they're not cheats. Sometimes they're not even thinking because they're thinking wrong because they think, well, that's the guy who took me to dinner last night. That's the guy who flew me here. And if I don't do it, I'm not getting flown back here. I had the most amazing trip of my life in America. Had the most amazing trip of my life in the Philippines or Bangkok. Hey, how do I go back there? You look after your promoter. You're going there every freaking 3 months, boy.
It's a great insight.
Well,
Jeff, which is why I asked the question, obviously. I mean, so how do we overcome this?
Easily. You fix it this way, Ahmed. You fix it this way. The guys who are going to referee and judge, They get there the day of the fight, or the day they're not allowed to see. No promoters pick them up. They have their own entity at the airport, pick them up. They take them to a hotel that nobody knows about. And there's only two things they can look at: a red and a blue corner. Not who's the promoter, not who's the trainer, not who's walking around, not who's screaming. Just referee in red and blue. The judges referee in red and blue corner. Nothing else. And then there. And then we see if they're competent or not. If they can't do it, then we get new referees and judges. We get rid of them as well. But like I said, yeah, give them no food money. Let them get there. Let there be a system where they just get to where they need the referee and judge. They do that. They do the job. They get off the plane. They get on the plane. They go home.
One more. Are sanctioning bodies killing the sport?
Look, I said, yeah. Look, a lot of people say that's happening, but I look at it this way: without the sanctioning bodies, do we have a belt? Do we have an organisation? Like I said, I mean, obviously, I'm crazy for the WBC, and do I think they're the best? Without doubt, I was their champion. They love me. They looked after me. So again, that's me being that guy that we just spoke about, that biased guy talking about the people I love. But also, I just know that they're the best. I know they care about their fighters. I know they care about everybody in the sport. I know that when I became champion, Jose Sullivan, who was the president of the WBC, made me feel like Mike Tyson. I'll never forget what those guys done. But like I said, are they killing the sport? Listen, there are too many. There are too many bodies at the moment. You don't need 4 or 5. We just need one. And like I said, I believe the best one is the WBC. But that's not for me to say. But again, I'd like all those guys to be able to sit down together one day and say, let's do this collectively, and let's have one belt, just have one world title belt. Like, we're all talking about unification and stuff. When I thought I couldn't even I couldn't unify the belt because the other guy wouldn't fight me. If you give this money, they just wouldn't fight because they knew they couldn't beat me. So yeah, boxing changed, but like I said, great. It's a great question to ask because you hear a lot of people complaining about them, but I've got nothing but great things to say about the WBC because they were so great to not just to me, but to everybody in the sport of boxing.
Now, there was the WBC. Was that the organisation that awarded you your 4th world champion belt in Las Vegas?
Yes, they did. It was the WBC.
Yeah, and take us. How was that? I mean, I know you've spoken at length, but just remind the fans what it was like to be not posthumously, but awarded the 4th world title so late.
Well, listen, it's just like if somebody steals your car and you get it back, you think, geez, that's great, I got my car back, Who helped? The police helped you. This time the WBC gave me what I won. I won 9 rounds out of 12, maybe more. I mean, and I was never given the belt. You've got to realise, Tony, for me to get the belt back then, that means I won the 4th world title, undefeated in 6 years. Floyd Mayweather took 10 years. I love Floyd. Floyd took 10 years to win 4 world titles. That was my 6th year. And on top of that, the money that I would have earned, but guess what? Today, I look and I think, wow, the greatest thing that ever happened to me, Tony, is I got a draw, then I lost, and I'm the person I am today. I'm this guy who, I don't need belts, Tony. Belts mean nothing to me. When I get off a plane and Lennox Lewis sees me or Van Holyfield and they give me credit, when my peers recognise me, I know I've made it in the sport. And the other thing I say is, had I got that world title 31 years ago, I wouldn't be in the beautiful position I'm in today. I'm happily married to the most beautiful lady in the world, my wife Susie. I've got 3 beautiful children. I'm the happiest person in the world. Had I got the belt back then, I'm not here talking to you guys today. I'm a totally different person. I know that. So everything happens for a reason. The person above, or whoever we want to say it may be, gave me the perfect path for my life because this is where I want to be today. I didn't want to be, and I didn't care if I ever got the 4th world title, if I got any world title. I'm in exactly the place I want to be today. Like I said, I'm in a place talking to you guys, being able to share my experiences, and that's what life's about. Experience. It's not about money. Life's not about money. It's about experiences. So I'm just happy to be in the position I am today.
Fantastic, brother. And we applaud you for that. And so not only were you awarded your 4th world title belt, you also tell Ahmed and all the viewers about the special watch that was gifted to you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been blessed from Hublot to pick the best 12 fighters in history, and I was chosen as one with the likes of George Foreman, Holyfield, Tyson. Some of the things that I've got outside the sport or as a part of the sport mean so much more to me than the belts. Just to get that recognition to be on a stage with those fighters, and yeah, it's really, really special. So, like I said, but again, apart from all that,
tell us about the watch.
Apart from all that, like I said, I'm blessed to have been able to have ridden this roller coaster. I've been to the bottom, but I've also been able to rise to the top. And as I rise again, I rise as a different person. I'm not that same guy that is going to make those stupid mistakes I made before, or mix with the people I mix. My whole life's changed, and I'm the happiest I've ever been because I'm around good people. And yeah, you learn as yeah, if you don't learn from your lessons previously and previous and past, you can't improve. You can't get better. I learn every day, and every day by talking to you guys, I feel really empowered that I'm able to share my experiences. And like I said, no belt means more to me than being happy and having my wife. All my belts mean nothing to me apart from where I am today, the happiness that I have today, and the solace that I have today, and being able to share my experiences better than any belt, any dollar I ever got. Of course, we can't say because without it, where would we be? But none of that means anything to me. Just being happy and being able to share my experiences is more than anything.
Jeff, we want to move towards wrapping things up. Before we do that, what would you say, firstly, is there any young talent on the rise that we should keep an eye out for?
Wow, there's lots. Like I said, if you just watched Nathaniel May and Jackson in England in their last fight, those two guys impressed Sean Porter from America so much that I heard him on his last podcast saying that he's seen these two Aussies that were out of the norm. These were had amazing boxing skills. Liam Wilson, like I said, Liam Wilson should already be world champion, and he knocked out a four-time world champion, and they counted properly. So we've got so many good fighters. Look, young Brock Jarvis, who I train, I'm sure he's going to come back and he's going to be bigger and better than ever. I mean, he's going through some surgeries. I mean, that kid's got all the potential in the world. I just hope that he finds the right trainer, the right teacher, the right surroundings, and he will go to the top as well. So we've got so many good fighters. The Maloney brothers, like I said, we've got the Zoo brothers. Then we've got Jaya Patea, who I when I watched him the first time, I told the world this kid is as good as anybody I've ever seen, and he's proved that now.
How's your relationship with Brock Jarvis?
No, look, Tony, I talk to him every now and then. I'm sure that it's not as good as it used to be. It was like my son. I travel the whole world with him. I still love him like he's my son. So if he ever needs anything, I'll be there for him at a drop of a hat. But like I said, I just hope that if there's one time I've ever wanted to be proven wrong, I hope Brocky can go out there and prove me and the rest of the boxing world wrong, because I just think that him moving up the middleweight was maybe too much of a jump. But if he does that and he's successful, I'll take my hat up to him and I'll get on my hands and knees and be so proud of him. Because, like I said, ever since I trained him for a 16-year-old, I always thought this kid had the potential to be one of the best fighters in the world.
So who's looking after him now?
I'm not too sure. I think it's a friend of mine by the name of Brian Dawn, who also trained with Johnny Lewis and I early in the day. So Brian, I'm sure Brian has got something to do with Robert Whittaker. He's the boxing trainer for Robert Whittaker. So hopefully, if that's the team that he's going to end up with, it'll be successful, because I wish him all the best.
Jeff, do you have any regrets from the past?
Yeah, of course I do. My greatest
in terms of your boxing career, yeah.
No, not in terms of my boxing career, just in terms of me being Jeff Fenech. I always was this little tough guy that never worried about nobody, thinking that, what do I, who cares? I'm big enough, strong enough. But you don't realise, and this is what I want all people that, if they're listening at the moment, to listen. We have mums and dads, brothers and sisters and children that aren't as tough as I was, and that take things differently. And if I could change anything, which I can't, I would love to eliminate some of the embarrassing times I've put on my mum, dad, my brothers and sisters, and my family. But like I said, I can't change. So all I try to do now is to do beautiful things and do beautiful things in front of them to let people know that, we all make mistakes, and and the worst thing about being Jeff Fenech is if you make a mistake, the whole world's going to know about it. So, but like I said, you've got to be able to take the good with the bad. I knew that when I signed up as being a world champion, and I still made mistakes. But like I said, I hopefully made some mistakes so other people will learn from me and not make the same mistakes and make better decisions in their lives than I did. And that's the only thing I'd like to change.
You've had an incredible career. You've had an incredible life, and you've still obviously got another 25 to 30 years to go. But they're also tell the fans about what they're going to mold that into a movie.
Yeah. Well, they're doing a lot of stuff on my life story at the moment. We're doing some stuff with a few different people. But like I said, again, to me, none of that really matters to me if they do it or if they don't do it, if it finishes, if it doesn't finish. I just want people to know, and the people that see me every night when I'm out, because I'm out with my wife every night, we eat dinner out every night, is to think, wow, that Jeff Fenech is maybe not what other people think. He's a nice person, and that's all I want people to think about me. I just forget about my career. I love what I done. I loved representing Australia, and that's all I wanted to do was represent Australia, and hopefully I've done Australia proud. But like I said, I also messed up a couple of times where I regret it. But like I said, once you've done something, you can't change it now. And all you can do is learn from it and get better and teach people through your mistakes not to make the same. And I'm more than happy with everything that's happened in my life.
Well, will those mistakes be highlighted in the movie?
Well, I hope. Well, mate, that's a part of my life. So I like to think that people see the good and the bad, and not the good and the bad. I just said I didn't believe I was bad. I just believe I was with the wrong people at the wrong time, and I made some mistakes. I mean, listen, if I could change one thing today, and if I got any advice to parents, listen, when your children say they're going out with Johnny or Jackie, go and find out who John and Jack are. Go and find out what their history are. Go and find out. Go and do a little bit of homework on the people your children are with, and trust me, it'll help.
Absolutely. All right, Jeff, thank you very much. You've been amazing, very generous with your time. We would love to have you back maybe sometime in the future to, after all these boys progress, come back and have a bit of a chat and see where things are at. We wish you all the best, and we thank you a ton.
Thank you, guys. Love you all.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. We'll catch you all next week.